Hey guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video. You join me today here at Heveningham Hall for the annual concourse. Now, this event in the calendar is quite a big event, however, I've never been to it before. And well, first impressions really is it's pretty mental. Look at this view. We've got the whole lawn in front of Heveningham Hall, which is massive to say the least. We've got, well, all eras of cars. We've got old Bentleys, we've got latest hypercars, and we've got race cars as well. So I think today is going to be a pretty good day. Now, generally, this event is a concourse as well as like a country fair, so there's literally a bit of everything here. There's like dealerships here who have kind of brought some of their cars to have a look, private collections which are here, and a bit of everything. And there's even a little hill climb to do as well. So hopefully we'll capture all of that for you guys and have a quality day. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm in one of those moments where I don't know what to film first. And can you blame me? I mean, oh well, okay, first of all, Monza SP1. Now, actually, funny enough, yesterday, in the time of recording this video, when I was in Italy, because I flew back last night, there was literally an exact spec Monza SP1 fellow pre-production car out there for the cavalcade. If you guys watch those videos, then you will you'll understand exactly what I mean. I absolutely love this car. I don't know whether I prefer the one or the two, obviously depending on how many seats you have, but I just love the design of it, how it's just not, it's not overly designed, it's not complicated at all, it's very sleek. I love that kind of bulged towards the rear as well. Almost D-Type-esque, very classical, shall we say. Now this car I actually have seen before on two occasions, both in Monza for the Finale Mondiale last October and a couple of weeks ago in London when it visited the HRO showroom. But what is there not to love about this thing? I cannot wait to see some customer cars roll out. As if we're going to get some more historic liveries, stuff like that, but it's fair to say that silver and orange with like a, I don't know, period style leather just looks absolutely stunning on this car. Jaguar XJ220S TWR, one of only 6 genuine examples in the world. Let's have a little look inside, seeing as the windows are open. It's noticeably similar to the standard road-going XJ220, however we've got a little lightweight steering wheel and some more buckety seats, because the seats on the XJ220 are actually surprisingly comfortable. But we've got some harnesses on there as well. But it looks awesome in orange, don't you think? I'm not sure if this is the original colour. I presume it's paint rather than a wrap. But it looks awesome with all the black details, black roof, black wheels. Look at this wing on the back. I mean, you can see where the standard XJ220 wing kind of goes straight along there. And this is just like 3 times the size. Awesome car. And like I said, one of only 6 genuine TWR kits in the world. Moving on to something a little bit more race derived now, because there's literally every era of car. You've got modern hypercars, kind of classics, and then you've got some race cars as well. So starting from the far end over there, we have a 308 Group 4 Michelotto, extremely valuable car. If that is a genuine example, which I'm sure it is, it's upwards of 1.5 million. We then have a 512 LM. Look at that thing, look at the stance it's got, absolutely timeless design. And then, what I want to particularly concentrate on is this 550 GTS by ProDrive. Now, funny enough, this is, well, it must be the only Ferrari that Ferrari didn't actually make. Obviously, they built the standard 550 kind of chassis, I suppose, but it's been completely manufactured and put together by ProDrive here in the UK. I'm unsure why that is the case, but I mean, that's a pretty cool little fact. Now, only 5 of these are in existence, but look at those side exit exhausts. Awesome looking thing. It's almost the complete opposite of the standard 550 being a GT cruiser that you cruise down to Monaco in or something. And then you got this. I mean, it looks absolutely awesome. Actually, let me swing around here because we have something equally as stunning, probably one of the best 275s I have ever seen. The thing is absolutely mint. It's probably had the most extensive restoration that I have seen. Finished in what I believe is Azzurro La Plata. Now, if you guys watch my cavalcade videos, you'll probably remember that I saw a Pista Spider finished in the same spec. That is, this is actually that colour, but it suits the car so nice. You've got the contrast of the light exterior with the dark interior. I mean, the 275 has got to be one of my favourite classics. Certainly one of my favourite classic Ferraris in that case, but look at this thing.
We're living in the present, but our mind is in the past.
check this out then. Bugatti Chiron Sport. Now the Chiron Sport is basically a more track-ready and lightened version of the standard Chiron. It's got the same power output, the same performance statistics really, the same W16 quad turbo engine producing 1500 brake horsepower. I mean, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? Nothing to be laughing at all, but it's quite a heavy car. Not sure the exact weight off the top of my head. But with the Chiron Sport, I think you lose about 100 kilos, mainly through the wheels. I think it's 16 kilos in particular per corner on the wheels. Now they're BBS wheels, you might be able to see in between the spokes. You can see they're slightly hollow. So you've got weight reduction here and there. I think you've got some different components kind of underneath the skin really, but this spec in particular, very, very clean. It looks so elegant. You wouldn't think that this thing is one of the fastest cars in the world, and yet it looks so good. Now obviously Bugatti had big boots to fill with the success of the Veyron, but you know what, I think they've done it, and I love these chrome grills. Look at that, stunning looking thing. Moving around the car now, then you can see that C which runs right from the A-pillar there all the way around to the bottom of the door. Now I love that angle. It's probably one of my favourite kind of design cues of the Chiron, and some of the cars which I've seen, well, some of the customer cars which I've seen in person have got that in like a brighter colour, so you can really see it emphasised, which is really cool. Anyway, moving around the back, we don't have it in handling mode, which basically lifts the spoiler up and drops the whole car down. But probably one of the most easy ways to distinguish a Chiron to a Chiron Sport is those 4 exhausts at the back. And actually on La Voiture Noire, we've actually got 6 of those all lined up, which is just ridiculous. But Chiron Sport, what a brute of a car, yet it just looks so good. Moving my way up the displays now, and I've stumbled across, well, arguably the most special Enzo in the world. Now on close inspection, you probably think, oh, it's just a black Enzo with red bits. If I come closer, you'll realise why it is probably the most special Enzo in the world. This is the only full carbon-bodied Enzo made by Zanassi back in Italy near Maranello, the official body shop and creator of all Ferrari's really highly tailor-made cars. It's been completely customised. The whole body, obviously now exposed carbon fibre. We've got a completely custom interior, red leather with red carbon. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick it out on the top of the steering wheel there. Absolutely stunning. Actually, there you go. You can see it there. Absolutely stunning car. Now, I've actually been lucky enough to see this thing on multiple occasions, brought today by Joe Macari, who I believe are selling the car. But it's just so special to see this particular car. Only 499 made. Well, technically 500 actually, because the Pope had one made. So 500 in the world. This one being a complete one-off. And arguably there's not going to be one around like this.
Wait a minute, don't you leave me before I get to kiss you.
What do we all think of this then? This is the W Motors Venya Super Sport. Now, I'll be completely honest with you here. I have no idea any details on this car, but just look at some of the sculptural designs on this thing. Towards the back, it's almost in its little showboating mode, brought all the way from Dubai, which is pretty special. Because we've got these little latches up here, we can have a look inside at some of the internals. Look at the carbon in there. See the suspension components in there as well. Might even be able to have a little glimpse into the interior. Really cool looking thing. It's almost, I don't know if it's a concept or if it's like an actual production car, but pretty cool, don't you think? Now, from up here, this thing looks absolutely bonkers. Look at that view, especially with all these other cars here as well. Slowly making my way to the top. But for those of you who don't really know much about W Motors, now their previous car, or the car which sits alongside this, the Lycan Hypersport, is the one which featured on Fast and Furious, where it jumped through the 2 skyscrapers. And to be honest, it looks like something which would fly, doesn't it? It looks absolutely bonkers. Really, really cool to see this, especially coming all the way from Dubai. With a wing this big, it can only be one car, and that's right, of course, the McLaren Senna. Now, I think this spec is actually really rather cool. On first inspection, I thought it was blue carbon, but it's not. It's like a very dark navy blue. It almost looks purple on camera with the optional satin carbon. So you can have all the carbon extras here in either satin or gloss. I think it really fits in nicely with the stealth spec. Now, what is the case for actually quite a few custom cars is the kind of resemblance that goes back to the Brazilian flag, the green and the yellow. That is, of course, a tribute to Ayrton Senna, like this whole car is. So it's very cool to see little accents like that. In fact, some cars have even got to the extent of being green and yellow, which is very cool. I'm yet to see one like that, but I mean, the amount of road presence this thing has, and even sat here, it's absolutely ridiculous. Actually, let's have a little whiz around the back, because this car, I can tell, has been driven hard, because the 3 titanium exhausts turning nice and blue. That is always nice to see. Now, although the Senna is probably the world's most controversial car, having seen upwards of 25 of these cars now, just, I don't know, it really is growing on me, and I'm actually beginning to be quite a big fan of it. I'm loving these carbon slats back here. You can really see the internals of the engines, even some of the chassis down there as well, but I'm loving this plate as well. P15 WEC. So P15 was the code name for the Senna before it was released. And the WEC is almost a little almost teaser towards the World Endurance Championships, which this car definitely, with that wing and some of the aero, would definitely fit in. This one's spec'd with the Gorilla Glass. I'm yet to see one which hasn't had that spec'd, and I'm very interested to see that. But anyway, we're pretty much at the top now. Now, albeit I haven't featured every single car. You've got a nice D-Type down there, 600 LT to the side of me. But to be honest, I'd be here for days if I were to do that. But whew, I'm almost out of breath with all that. But yeah, what a show. Some awesome, awesome cars here. And I'm actually quite interested to see which one's your favourite. So let me know down in the comments. So it's now time for the horsepower hill, which is the part of the day where some of the cars in the paddock kind of come out and do a little hill climb bit. So I've hopped in the Golf R, driven about 10 minutes outside of Heveningham Hall, because once they do the hill climb, they do a little tour around some closed roads around the area really. So I've come out here to see the cars on the road and see what goes on. So I'm officially devoting this section of the video to anyone out there who loves Ferraris, and you might be thinking, why? That's why. This might just be the best selection of Ferraris I have ever seen, especially on some random, I don't know, is it woodland? I don't know where I am, but let's just have a little wander through this because this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, 288 GTO, extremely special car, but dare I say it, nothing compared to this. This is the 288 Evo, one of only 5 existing in the world, plus 1 prototype. And having, well, the standard 288 next to it, it really does show just how different they are, especially from the front end. It's almost completely unrecognisable. Let's have a little wander down to the rear end, because I mean the rear end of the Evo especially is absolutely ridiculous. Look at that, what a rear end. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at the pipes on the GTO as well. See that gearbox right down at the bottom. And just look at this line down here as well. I am absolutely blown away by this. Absolutely absurd. Anyway, let's carry on our little tour. So 288 GTO, 288 Evo, F40 GT, very, very rare car. Pretty much a race prep, well, nothing compared to that, but we'll get to that in a minute. Race prepped F40 in the Brummel livery. The white wheels looks absolutely awesome. I remember actually seeing this car quite a few years ago, randomly on the M25. So yeah, that's a little fun story. F40LM, the most hardcore F40 that they ever made. I'm unsure how many exactly they made, but quote me on this, there is not many made at all. I mean, look at that, F40LM next to the GT, next to the Evo and the GTO. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Then we got an F50. I absolutely love the F50. It's pretty much the closest thing that you'll get to a road-going F1 car. Removable hardtop, gated manual gearbox, and a screaming naturally aspirated V12. Moving along down the line then, things definitely don't get less interesting. We have a Ferrari Enzo, the car devoted to Enzo Ferrari himself. One of 499 made. Is actually a full carbon Enzo here, which I showed you guys a little bit earlier on in the video, albeit this one is not so special as that, but I mean, you can't deny that seeing an Enzo is unbelievable. Just look down this line again. Look at that, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm all over the place because I love Ferraris, and you guys know that. But anyway, tucked away in the corner we have a LaFerrari Aperta. Aperta obviously meaning open in Italian. Obviously the LaFerrari Open with the removable hardtop on the top. This one has the optional carbon hardtop, which is very, very rare. There was a LaFerrari Coupe here, if you're wondering, but that's now elsewhere in the show. One of 250, I believe, in the world. This one finished in the, I believe it's the launch spec actually, the triple layer yellow with the black racing stripes. So that is going to complete this lineup of absolutely ridiculous Ferraris. So there we go, the day is coming to a close. All the cars are now off the main lawn, ready to be loaded up into a load of big trucks. So I think I'll get around today's video up here. It's been a good first visit here to Heveningham Hall. I'm hoping that next year and all the years to come, I'll be able to come along down and film it for you guys. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, please make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe for all the adventures still to come.